So Nigel Farage has set out a radical new crime package designed to tackle lawless Britain. Okie dokie. So the reform leader will take the fight to Labour. Think about that. On crime with a series of measures that will require the police to investigate all crimes and see serious offenders spend years more behind bars. Mr. Farage will pledge a zero-tolerance approach designed to halve Britain's crime rate. Oh, okay. Writing in the Daily Mail today, Mr. Farage says he's putting criminals on notice that Britain's soft-touch justice system will come to an end if Reform win the next election. Measures include the introduction of saturation stop and search in high-crime areas, with as many as 1 in 5 people stopped to send out a message that crime will not be tolerated. Now take a step back here, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't need to do that in the past. You know why? Because we had laws, and we had a death penalty. And in the past, if you murdered somebody, you were on the end of a rope. Yep. Now, mitigation, all the rest of it, I get that. But bang to rights, murdering people, you should not be allowed to live. I mean, remember, the trouble is everything's a bloody business. Yeah? And our jails, many of them, are in the hands of private corporations. Yeah? So when he says, well, I'll give you an example, horrible thing that happened to this gentleman here. Well, they'd be sent to foreign jails. That's still money. And while it is apparently a hellhole, they're still alive. Should have been dead. It's a big difference. This is another order out of chaos scenario. It ties into the Freemasonry, the order out of chaos. It really does. There was a time up until not that many decades ago, that thieves actually got a reasonable punishment, yeah? And back in the day, cops smacked them about a bit. I still like the idea of the Isle of Man with the birch, but apparently even there I think it's banned. But yeah, if they were getting the birch for stealing something, it'd be less likely. All this pish about, well, we'll need to see home reports and, a psychological study of this and, blah, blah, blah from social work. And, it's a fucking business. If you're a thieving shite, you should get the fucking birch. Yeah? If you're a murderer, you should be, deceased. They've made the whole thing a fucking business. I don't subscribe to the death row scenario in America either. You're banged to rights, you're guilty, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking banged to rights, guilty. Yeah. What's this business aspect? Did the victims get that latitude? Been able to live longer? But the culprits, if you can find any, yeah. I just don't get it. I don't get this thing about, as long as they're having a miserable time for decades on end. It doesn't seem to deter them. Strutting about in a place, 2 or 3 meals a day, whatever the fuck, yeah? All we need to do is go back a few decades. That's all we need to do. A lot of things up to that point, we were getting it right, seriously. If you think this guy's a fucking hero, no. Because he will also be up for the cashless society. Well, if it stops these, these dinghy surfers and all the rest of it. He's not a hero, be assured of that. He's another aspect of Freemasonry. That's what the guy is, seriously. But as usual, the fucking vast majority of the... Finally, well done, Nigel. Yeah. I still keep thinking of XTC, We're only making plans for Nigel. And let's be honest, he's another one that's been groomed for decades to this situation. Come on. I had not made my mind up about reform. Was still on the fence. I'm getting too frightened about the situation in this country, and I'm willing to now give them a chance. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a party out there. I mean, even Rupert, whatever his name is, right? He's talking a lot of sense. But then he's talking about, one of his heroes being Darwin. Honestly, I wonder. Anyway, your thoughts? Maybe a thumb up or two? Scott, I can only thumb you up once. Well, how about a share? Anyway, I'll speak to you soon.